Hello everyone, I'm Amy Zarowski, and today we are going to be taking a look at our data at Our Lady of the Assumption Catholic School in the past years and determine strategies on how we can improve student learning. There are 530 students currently enrolled at OLA. OLA currently hosts students in grades pre-K through 8th grade. There are 2 classes per grade level and 3 classes in the grade kindergarten and 5th grade. Although enrollment is steady, the annual applications are continually increasing. The school population is comprised of students of Caucasian, Asian, African American, Hispanic, and Native American descent. Though Caucasian students make up the largest percentage of enrollment, there is a steady increase in application from the Hispanic community. Our school's transiency rate is almost zero. We rarely have new families or students transfer to our school in the middle of the year, with the exception of maybe one family who moves. The purpose of this data overview is to see how students at Our Lady of the Assumption Catholic School are performing compared to the entire Archdiocese of Atlanta school system. Archdiocesan students are tested annually in grades 1 through 7 using the Iowa assessment. Students' performance on the Iowa assessment is utilized by schools to inform annual goals. Our goal today is to effectively use data to improve student learning. Some of you may be asking, why use data? Our students already do well in testing. This statement is true. Our students do perform very well in testing, but our question then becomes, what about the students or classes that don't perform well? Today we are going to be looking at a data overview of the whole school, how each of our grades performed on the last year's student assessment. Then we are going to take a deeper look into a specific grade level that needs some improvement in 2 of their subjects. Looking at data as a whole, it helps to improve student achievement across the board. Data can also show us our strengths and weaknesses for us to learn how to improve student achievement. We use charts and graphs to analyze the data based off of our students' results on the last year's Iowa assessment. This helps us take a better look and see where our students need the extra help or need the increase of learning. On this slide, you will see how 1st and 2nd grade students at OLA compare to the Archdiocesan standard. In the first chart, you will see the percentages for each of the subjects tested. Down below, I broke it into 1st and 2nd grade. Looking at the chart on the left, you will see that OLA students, the orange bar, are performing way above the Archdiocesan standard in every subject. This goes to show the 2nd grade comparison as well. We also are performing way above the national average. Looking at this slide, you can see the comparison of 3rd and 4th grade students this past year. 3rd grade Iowa scores at OLA are above the average Archdiocesan score. 4th grade scores are more constant but still above, for the exception of social studies. In social studies in 4th grade, the Archdiocesan average was 81, and we also performed at an 81%. We want to see that score increase so that across the board in grades 1, 2, 3, and 4, we are performing higher than the Archdiocesan standard. The Iowa test scores for 5th and 6th grade are pretty consistent with the Archdiocesan total. The average Archdiocesan core total for 5th grade is higher than the cumulative OLA scores. Overall, in the Archdiocesan for 5th grade, they scored an 82%. We at OLA only scored an 80. This was because our math total, English language arts, and science scores are all lower than the average Archdiocesan student. Looking into 6th grade, OLA ranks 1% higher than the 6th grade archdiocesan total. Even though we have low scores in science and math, we still rank higher than the average archdiocesan student. In 7th grade, this is where we see some of our weaknesses show. Students at OLA are performing under the core total. Math needs to be improved, as with science. With every comparison between the archdiocesan and our score, we are currently under. In the core total, we are under 10%. In language arts, we are under 7%. In math, we are down 13%. In social studies, we are down 2%. And in science, we are 10%. When determining our strengths and weaknesses based off of last year's Iowa assessment, grades 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8 are performing higher than total archdiocesan on each subject on the Iowa assessment, which is awesome. Some of our weaknesses. Grade 5 needs improvement in language arts, math, and science. We aren't terribly low, but we want to get our scores higher. Grade 6 needs improvement in math and science. We see some scores drop in grade 6 because students are coming in to middle school, and math and science are more concrete and not just definitions and reading out of a textbook. They are doing more hands-on experiments and concepts. Grade 7 needs the most improvement. They need improvement in all subject areas, especially English language arts, math, science, and social studies. And in the next couple of slides, we are going to review how 7th grade has been performing over the past 3 years on the Iowa assessment. A key to the next couple of slides. In the next couple of slides, you are going to see how the current 7th grade has performed on the Iowa assessment in the past 3 years. So we are looking at one group of students, the current 7th grade class. We are going to compare how that 7th grade class did on the assessment in 6th grade and then when they were all in 5th grade. You will see a change, okay? You will also take note that on each of the slides there are 2 lines. A black line is our current score. So that is our OLA score within the 3 years. The black line also represents growth and achievement for that specific group, so how 7th grade has changed over the past 3 years. The gray line represents growth and achievement for the average student in the archdiocesan, in the nation, okay? Each of the assessments that the students took happened in the springtime. The results follow the 7th grade when they were in 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. Okay, so the first subject that we are going to look at is reading. Since 7th grade needs improvement across the areas, we are going to look in depth in each subject over the past 3 years. You will see in grade 5, 55 students were tested, and their score was above average. In grade 6, 53 students were tested, and their grade was still above average. And then in the most recent year of 2014, 36 students were tested, and we scored an average of 71. Okay, we lose a lot of our students at the end of 6th grade because they go to our sister school for high school. That is why you will see a drop in population over grade 6 and 7th over the next couple of slides. On this slide, we are looking at our written expression scores. You will also see that over the past 3 years, our scores have continuously gone up, and this is awesome to see. We perform well over the average in this particular subject. Again, in grade 5, the same number of students were tested, 55, 53, and 36. NPR, which means the National Percentile Rank, we are performing well, not awesome, but well. Also, our grade equivalent average is high as well. On this slide, it shows the Iowa comparison for 7th grade in ELA total. This includes vocabulary, written expression, reading, and language arts. You will again see that over the past 3 years, our scores in ELA have been on the continuous rise. 7th grade math is where we see the first drop in our scores. It's still above the national average, but it has dropped. We want it to be on the rise, and this is where our first weakness is. You will see that in grade 7 this past year, their percentile was only a 63. The highest was in 2013 at a 78. Again, these scores are not high, and we want to enhance their instruction in the classroom so that the scores increase. 7th grade science is another improvement. Our scores have significantly dropped again. This has a lot to do with the focus on physical science, specifically in middle school, and more hands-on experiments and concepts. Between the grades of 5 and 6, so you're talking concepts and textbooks, into a middle school environment where there's more hands-on experiments and lab reports, our percentage dropped 5%. Between the grades of 6th and 7th, our scores continually dropped another 11%. This is one of the subjects that is crucial of our improvement. We need to maybe change how we are teaching. We need to change what we are putting the most emphasis on. And we need to get our scores higher so that our scores at OLA continue to be above the grade average for the Archdiocese. 7th grade social studies is one of our strengths. Our scores have raised significantly in the past 3 years. When the group of students were in grade 5, they were performing at 85%. Then in grade 6, they were performing at 81%. Then with the new score and the new test in grade 7, they still performed at an 81%, but that score was above the national average. We have looked at a various amount of data within the past 3 years at OLA. So then we are posed with a question. What can we do to raise our scores specifically in 7th grade science and math? What can we do to see a change? And will the data play a larger part in the process in the future?